Welcome to the World Model Podcast. I'm Omar. In today's episode, the AI that dreams, what are world models? We're going to uncover what might be the most important AI concept you've never heard of. Here's a crazy thought. What if the most advanced AIs today don't just learn from data, they practice in their dreams? I'm talking about world models. And no, this isn't science fiction. This is happening right now in research labs from DeepMind to OpenAI. So what exactly is a world model? Let me break it down in the simplest terms possible. Imagine you're about to make a difficult decision. Maybe you're considering changing jobs or moving to a new city. What do? You probably imagine different scenarios in your head. You simulate conversations with your future boss. You picture what your daily life would look like in that new apartment. That mental simulation, that's your brain using a world model. Now, for AI, a world model is the same thing. It's an internal simulation of how the world works. Instead of just reacting to what it sees, the AI can imagine possible futures before taking action. Let me give you a concrete example. Think about AlphaGo, DeepMind's AI that beat the world champion at Go. The early version played millions of games against itself to learn. But what if it could practice entirely in its imagination? That's exactly what later versions did. They developed an internal model of the Go board and could simulate thousands of games in their mind before ever making a real move. The results were staggering. Training time dropped from weeks to days, performance improved dramatically, and this is just the beginning. Now you might be thinking, okay, cool for board games, but why should I care? Here's why. The same technology is what will allow self-driving cars to anticipate accidents before they happen. It's what will let robots learn complex tasks without breaking everything in your house. It's potentially the missing piece that could lead to true artificial general intelligence. Let me explain how this actually works technically, but I promise to keep it simple. Most AI today is what we call model free. It learns direct connections between what it sees and what it should do. See a stop sign? Stop. But it doesn't understand why it should stop. World models change that. The AI builds a compressed understanding of its environment. Researchers call this the latent space. Think of it as the AI dreams canvas. In this space, the AI can imagine what would happen if I turn left here, or what if it starts raining, without actually experiencing it. The breakthrough paper that truly kicked this off was called World Models by David Ha and Jürgen Schmidhuber back in 2018. They trained an AI to play a car racing game. But here's the crazy part. The AI developed an internal visualization so accurate that it could practice driving entirely in its own generated dreams. The AI would imagine the track, imagine the car, and get better at racing without ever touching the actual game. Since then, we've seen DeepMind's Dreamer series, Dreamer version 1, version 2, and version 3, each getting more sophisticated at this internal simulation. We'll talk about AIs that can now learn complex tasks with dramatically less data because they're practicing it in their sleep. But here's what keeps me up at night. We're seeing this technology escape the research labs. Tesla's full self-driving system, it uses a primitive form of world modeling to predict what other cars and pedestrians might do. Nvidia's driving simulation, world models. Even in language models, we're starting to see attempts at building internal models of how the world works. Now, let me hit you with my controversial take of the day. I believe world models will eventually make today's large language models like ChatGPT look primitive. Why? Because while ChatGPT can generate convincing text, it doesn't truly understand cause and effect. It doesn't have a model of how the physical world actually works. The next breakthrough will come from combining language understanding with world models. Think about it. What's more valuable? An AI that can write a poem about driving a car, or an AI that can actually learn to drive a car in simulation and then transfer that knowledge to the real world? In our next episode, we'll dive into exactly how these AIs learn to dream. We'll break down concepts like latent spaces and planning in a way that anyone can understand. But for now, I want you to remember that this. Every major AI lab is betting big on world models. Google Brain, DeepMind, OpenAI, Tesla, they all have teams working on this right now. The race is on to build the most accurate internal simulation of reality. The company that masters this first won't just lead in AI, they might fundamentally change how we interact with technology forever. That's all for this episode of the World Model Podcast. If you found this interesting, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, the future isn't just about building smarter AI, it's about building AI that understands the world. Until next time, keep simulating.